Hello class, this is Professor Quigley and I am here to help you get through challenge activity 2.13. This is an awesome challenge activity because we actually get to build a real application that we could actually use. For example, do you know how much you are spending per mile that you drive your car? Many of us don't know. Many of us know how much a gallon of gas costs. We know how many miles per gallon our car gets, but we haven't actually figured out if I drive 400 miles, how much will that cost? You will know after developing this application. All right, class. Well, I have our pseudocode already loaded up here. And to start, I want to go ahead and get a calculator open because I believe that if you can't figure out how to do the problem on a calculator, how in the world are you going to program a computer to do it? Many of us are still learning how to program a computer. So if you don't know how to program a computer and you don't know how to figure out how much money you're spending per mile you drive down the road, then you don't have a chance. So let's figure this out. If I scroll back over here, you can see that we're actually going to be given the miles per gallon and then the cost of a gallon. So let's just do this together. Let's just assume that I spent $3 for a gallon of gas. I know it's different. It's going to be different based on where you live, and it's going to be different based on when you watch this video. Because actually, the price of a gallon, I think, changes like 2 to 3 times a day. Not sure. $3. See, my voice is still cracking. I'm still sick, but go ahead and laugh. I don't care because you're going to pass this class anyways. $3 for a gallon of gas. Now I'm going to divide that by the fact that my car gets 30 miles per gallon. 30 miles per gallon at $3 for a gallon of gas, just to recap, you guys might have missed that. You take the price per gallon and you divide it by the number of miles per gallon that your car gets. So $3 of gas divided by 30 miles that I will get per gallon of gas I buy is 10 cents. Every time I drive my car down the road, I am going to pay 10 cents for every mile. It's kind of funny to think about it like that because now you start thinking like, man, if it's 100 miles to get over there, let's figure it out. So if it's 10 cents a mile times the fact that it takes me 100 miles, it's $10. So when you think, hey, do you want to drive 100 miles to so and so? In the back of your mind, you could use this program that you're about to build and know that it's going to cost you $10. Another $10 if it's 100 miles back. All right, so now that we know how to do the math on a calculator, let's just program the computer. So over here, we're going to declare our variables. So we're going to say float miles per gallon. Then we're going to say float dollars per gallon. Then we're going to do another float. Oops. This is going to be dollars per mile. And then we're going to go with the word answer. So we'll do float answer. Now, those are all of the inputs that we needed. Because remember what I told you in week 1? Identify your inputs, your processes, and your outputs. So your outputs, you know you're going to have to output whatever value the price per mile is times 10 space price per mile times 50 and 400. So those are your outputs. So answer is going to be your output. Your processes is going to be everything we just did on the calculator. So now we're going to take those values and we are going to set them. So we're going to say miles per gallon is going to equal get next input. Because remember, we want to actually allow everybody to use our application no matter what kind of car they drive or how much the price of gas is. So by using variables, our application is going to be dynamic. So we have miles per gallon, dollars per gallon equals get next input. And after dollars per gallon, we're going to do dollars per mile. Now this is where we're going to do what we did on the calculator. So if you remember, dollars per mile, all it was the price per gallon. So dollars per gallon divided by miles per gallon. And so if we want to verify that real quick, we could say dollars per gallon was 3 divided by miles per gallon was 30, and that's how we got to 10 cents a mile. Okay, now we need to do our outputs. So here we're going to say answer. I mean, if I was following along with the pseudocode, I can call this, is that what it calls it in the pseudocode? It says, yep, answer. So answer. So we'll say answer equals 10 times dollars per mile. Now, 10, it's not in quotes because it's not a sentence, it's not a string, it's not a text, it's a number. So it's also not a variable. So it is a hard-coded number of 10, and that's okay because our application, every time we use it, it's going to output the cost for 10, 50, and 400 miles. So it's okay that it's fixed there. So answer equals 10 times dollar per miles, which that's going to be dynamic because we just calculated that and it's going to be different every time. So after we do that, we just need to output answer to output. Oops, sorry, that doesn't make sense. Oops. Put answer to output. Then we are going to do put space to output. Now, remember, lazy programmers are the best because they are the type of person who doesn't like to do a lot of work. They're the type of person who is going to be lazy and try to be as efficient as possible. So I am going to copy this, paste it on line 16, hit enter, and paste it again. What I'm going to do here is the first one needs to say 10, then I'm going to change this to 50 and change this one to 400. And if I scroll back up, did I get that right? 10, 50, 400. So I can see 10, 50, 400. Now I don't need this last space because if I look at my outputs, it's value, space, value, space, value. There's no real space after that. So I'm going to check it and I am good. So that is how we could figure out how much we are spending for every mile we drive down the road. And everybody who uses our application could type in whatever values they want, and our output from our application is going to tell them how much money they're going to spend for every 10, 15, and 400 miles they drive their specific car at whatever the price a gallon is at the moment they run that application. So I hope that helped. If it didn't, feel free to get back to me. But I enjoyed helping you, even though my voice is really starting to go. But we only got a couple more problems left. We'll get through them. Take care.